True for true, you're on a well-infiltrated run because I got a yap about something hella important. I've mentioned this in my past video. Something has happened at my workplace that is insane. I will not make names, I will not mention the company, and I'm super sure none of this made headlines, so even if you search it, you're gonna find nothing. But it's just too crazy for me not to speak about it. So, I work in an airport, in a pretty big company, international setting, and I have an important role. This company itself has an important role towards what happens in an airport by itself. Like, you may not realize it, but you deal with what this company does every single time you fly, multiple times throughout the flight. You deal with it, the crew deals with it, captains deal with it, everybody does. Big deal. So anyway, what happened? There have been three situations as of lately. Three big situations. Mind you, there's been a lot more, but these are the big ones. So imagine the small ones. Number one, a guy assaulted a woman on the job sexually. And it wasn't even a coworker. It was somebody else from another company on the job. And he, like, quote unquote, kidnapped her, technically. Long story. I'll tell you all three of them, and then we'll delve one each. Second, a guy was supposed to stop his car besides the airplane. He didn't press the brake, he pressed the accelerator. He was found with about 6 times the legal alcoholic limit to drive with. Boy, if that matters for the context right now, the plane has a big hole inside of it right now. Third, what else do I have? Oh, a guy just casually happened to lose control of his vehicle once again, same kind of vehicle, different guy, and ended up crushing the entire side of this vehicle into very serious accident, of which he came out unscathed. But had somebody been in the passenger seat, he'd be dead, guaranteed dead, and it's not even close. This meant that out of, I'm gonna shoot 16 employees within this role of these guys, which is not my role, but it's a role I work with. Now, 3 have not been fired, mind you. They have not been just fired, they've been arrested. They've been arrested, and their license to work within an airport has been revoked while they're pending trial, each for their own different shit. Number 1, the guy that almost kidnapped a woman and sexually assaulted her. Let's make it easy. Sexual assault was a kiss. It's still sexual assault if it's non-consensual. This guy just had the brightest as fuck idea to take this lady and go like, "Hey, do you want a Kit Kat?" Which is already, it's already bad. Like, if you were a stranger, I don't know you, and you offer me a Kit Kat, no, I'm not saying yes to you, bro. I don't care that you're the Kit Kat dealer, which is not, by the way. But, like, no, it's not happening. You could be the Cookie Monster. I ain't accepting a cookie. Monster is in your name. She said yes. She said yes, and it's like, "Come into my truck. I'll give you the Kit Kat." She went into the truck. She still didn't see what was about to happen. But to be fair, this guy schemed it hella well. This guy schemed it all. He brought her to the truck. Mind you, it's really hard to see into this truck because it's in the back of the truck. It's not in the front. It's not in the passenger seat. It's not in the middle of everybody. It's a truck, middle of nowhere. Ain't nobody seeing inside of it. He gave her a Kit Kat, took her face, kissed her, smooshed her, and then gave her a second Kit Kat as like a prize. She felt disgusted. I was not working in that instance with this guy, but a coworker of mine was, and he told me that he had gotten on the scene just like 10 minutes after he was supposed to. Not that he could have done anything to prevent this, by the way. It's not his fault by any means, but he got there 10 minutes after he was supposed to be there. Went to check in, should have found this guy doing his job. What he found was him in between 2 police guards. And he got arrested on the spot, thankfully. He got sued by this lady, which is, I think, the best case scenario. People don't take this shit seriously, and I think being sued and yada yada is really, really worth, because it sets a precedent and it makes your rights stand more. I'm really happy for her that she stood her ground, not happy for what happened to her, but it seems like she didn't put too much weight on it. It's just she was bothered by it, of course. What's worse is that this guy did this out of nowhere. I work with this guy. I thought he was a chill guy. He has a family. He has a wife. Not that cheaters don't exist. It's just he didn't give no impression for this for months. This is just out of the blue. It's an insane out of the blue thing, by the way. It's not a simple out of the blue thing. It's insane. Like, that's, you oughta go to prison, bro. Maybe not prison, but jail. You oughta go to jail. That's just weird. So yeah, there's that. Story number one is out of the way. Then there's story number two, the guy that did not see the break. Boy, oh boy. It's this very not so smart fella that apparently is on the job. He does drink a lot. He apparently does crack, I've been told. And it's not the only guy, by the way. I don't know how the fuck all these people are employed at such a serious, quote unquote, company. But yeah, apparently there is a lot of addicts. It's like a rehab center, but they actually employ you and pay you well. And it's a super technically secure job, but not really at this point. And he was found drunk, of course, hella drunk. By hella, I mean the legal limit for drinking, for the drinking rate, alcohol rate in your blood is 0.7, where I live in Italy. This guy had 3.6. That like I don't drink myself, so I don't know, but I assume you ought to drink a bunch to get to that level, like a good bunch. And apparently he did that a lot and often. It's just that this time it's not like he was caught doing it or anything. He was supposed to uh, park next to a plane with a pretty heavy and pretty big vehicle, and he didn't. How the fuck did what? You chill out, chill out, chill out. He was supposed to park with a pretty big vehicle, which I know it's not easy, but the brake is right there. You cannot mess up if you just press the brake. I'm pretty sure that's what they teach you when you start driving and you do your lessons. He pressed the accelerator, and it wasn't even close. Like, he full rammed into the plane and caused a big fucking hole. Like, you could see the inside of the plane from outside. Like, you should not be able to do that on a normal occasion. So that happened. That's fun. That's about, I think, at the very least, a couple millions in damages to the company. Which, if you followed my very last video, I'm very happy about. This company deserves the worst. They are the worst. Treat people the worst. Assume and employ people that should not be employed in a million years. So they deserve it. By any mean, they fully deserve it. This happened. Big fucking hole. Of course, he got arrested as well. There were investigations, and they find him super drunk. That was a scandal in itself. And still, mind you, in all of this, these are terrible things. These are things that should not have place on this earth, let alone in a place as secure that should be as secure as an airport. Regardless of the fact, they happen and there is no news about it. So if you're outside of this job, you will never know how bad these companies are, which means investors are clueless about the situation. Probably it's a good thing for the company. But I don't even know if it's about investors. It's about the fact that you'd likely not want this company to serve you if you knew all these dynamics. And that is what I'm trying to push every bit by bit because of how they employed me and how they're technically abusing the employment rights to get some advantages and money spent. Every now and then, I drop a little breadcrumb to other companies that work adjacent to this, like, no, they don't treat us the best, but I'm pretty sure that one day they'll get what they deserve. One day companies will wake up and realize that they simply shouldn't work with them. There are alternatives, so they should very well just accept those. Third story, boy, I was lost in the sauce. What is the third story now? Oh yeah, it's the guy that rammed into the. There was a guy that just rammed into a wall with a truck, and the accident was gruesome. The entire truck. This is a multi-ton, heavy lifting truck. Yada yada. I've searched it up. It's about 150,000 euros. That's a lot of money. It should be pretty strong. This thing, I got to the scene. This thing was a tuna can. It was compacted. Have you ever seen those videos on Instagram and TikTok of those cars that plunge themselves off of a highway or a road at super high speed and it says survival rate 100% and then it goes down the further it rolls? This thing was like straight from 100 to -1 if you were in the passenger seat. That passenger seat is entirely in the back of the truck at this point. Like, it doesn't exist. And not only is the passenger seat in the back of the truck because of how it collapsed on itself, there is a whole metal pole inside of it now. I mean, at least there was. And you get, like, he says his version of the story is he actually tried to steer, but the truck wouldn't steer. He was under a tunnel and it was hard. I drive under this tunnel within the airport. The tunnel is straight. There is no point in next to the tunnel in which you are required to curve at any point. How the fuck do you hit a wall in a straight line? It just doesn't happen, bro. It just doesn't happen. But it did. Apparently, he was doing everything right though. Like people corroborated that nothing was wrong. He was not above the speed limit. People have complained that it was the truck's fault. He stopped responding to his commands. And like, do I believe that because of how he took things? Like, were it real? I'm so fucking sure this guy will be suing the company to death right now because he could have died. Right? That is just the logical explanation that I give myself if something like that happened. If I almost died there, I would sue the company to death. You'd have to pay me in damages for the rest of your life. Like, not even close. This guy not only didn't sue, he refused to accept uh, like an illness leave or like a paid time off from what I usually use for sickness, but this is not sickness. This is an accident or injuries, and decided to come back to work instead. That makes me believe about zero what he says. Like, I cannot believe you. You're lying at some point. Somewhere in there you lied. I don't know why, but if you lied, there's something weird. Little extra fun fact I found out about this other person at work that is apparently the worst human being ever. This is the other person that does crack cocaine and alcohol. Nothing has happened so far with him, surprisingly, but I guarantee you in the next 2 months something will happen. It is just like a ticking bomb waiting to explode. Mind you, to get you to understand how popular this guy is within the company, I've been spoken to about him from a colleague that has worked with him a couple times. It hadn't happened to me in the first month within the company to work with him, so I didn't know who he was, and I was super unaware of what he did and how he'd be. Then I got him on my job, on my shift, with me, working with him where I supervise him. He's supposed to do a certain job. He's supposed to perform a certain task, and after he does these tasks and everything is good, he can leave and do whatever the fuck he wants. We have a time constraint, a super fucking important time constraint at that. What that means is you ought to do your job before everything else, because if you don't and the time goes up, again, as I've mentioned before, you get a $10,000 fine every minute that shit goes on. So yeah, it is pretty important. This guy gets on the shift, gets on the job wherever he needs to be on site. First thing he does, he opens up a couple carts, gets food and alcohol out, starts eating and drinking. Brother, what? What are you doing? Do it after the shift. Do it after everything is over. Do it after we have no time constraint and nobody's on our asses, because these people are serious people, the other companies we work with. Nah, he decided in front of everybody else to have his fest. He was just enjoying the best of his life. And I'll be honest, I wish I had that serenity in my life. I wish I was that chill with my own self that I will like look at the situation like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm eating good today. Surely he was eating good, but man, I was stressed out big time, like big time. That was not nice. That was not nice at all. And then he almost broke another multi-million dollar component of a very serious piece of thing. It didn't happen, luckily, but it was sure of happening. Like, it's a miracle it didn't happen, and I don't know how it didn't happen. I'm very unsure, uncertain what happened right there. Something could have gone horribly wrong, but it didn't. And I've spoken to some people. I've spoken to his manager and a bunch of other people. I died. Well, fuck that. What they said is they're super aware of the situation, but they're understaffed. Need I to say hire more people? I know you don't want to spend more money, but maybe, just saying, consider it. So yeah, those are the situation I have at work. That's my life right now. That's where I'm going. I hope you appreciate me speaking my mind. Let me know what the crazy stuff that you got going on at work, and I'll see you.